welcome to the show, ladies. I wanted to introduce the topic, take a minute to introduce the topic because this was suggested by a channel visitor. And it seems to be something as we went over some of the letters on uh, the What the Fuck Tuesday is a common theme and a serious problem with women getting in their emotions and not really being able to separate their emotions from the reality of what's going on uh, with the guy that they're dealing with. So, what we're going to do today is, kind of look at that because women are tend to be very emotional creatures. I mean, that's just how it is, full of empathy and sympathy, very caring people, not all, but most. And the fact that women are the way that they are is prevented men from basically destroying the whole planet and every life form on it. It kind of helps balance things out. But since men are warlike creatures and their goal for pretty much everything is to win and conquer and vanquish and achieve their goals and things like this, but what they consider to be what a woman might consider to be an underhanded tactic or quote not fair, men don't have any problem utilizing those tools because they don't care about how you win. They just want to win. And that's where we come up against women's emotions. So you want to be, God, what is this fuzz mouth? You want to be all nice and you want to be honest and you want to be caring and supportive of your man and you want to please people. You want to share your thoughts, your feelings. You want to be loyal. You seek commitment and ties and bonding. You want to love even through struggles. For some of you, that means love. You want to be polite. You want to avoid being aggressive or being considered to be too masculine, and you don't want people talking about you, so you try to be overly humble, even though you've got some great accomplishments under your belt. But following that program of femininity is what got most of you in trouble with men, and it's what keeps you stuck in some really, I hate to say the term, but stupid relationships. It keeps you stuck there because you're adhering to all these principles, and those principles are not coming back at you. So, guys will set you up like this. And what we're going to talk about today is how to manage those attempts, how to control your emotions, and how you can become large and in charge and change your life by managing your emotions. I'll be right back. Well, now the show shall begin. Now that the intro has been done, let me open up the chat, which I did forget to do. My apologies. It's coming. It's coming right up. There we go. I want to be able to see everybody's comments and make sure we respond accordingly. I'm glad to see everybody. Thank you for coming. This topic was chosen on Tuesday, and I hope that it benefits a lot of you because I'm not trying to say that you have to be, a hard, cold person and never exhibit any kind of feelings. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when we observe how most women are in the relationships, the emotions override good common sense. They override logic. They override analysis. They override what we call common sense. It's just y'all just being your feelings too much. And guys will use that against you. So I'm going to go over how. So, but I did a little research on this because, it's been a long time since I've been in school and I forgot a lot of stuff. So I looked up some stuff and I was, kind of reviewing some scientific studies on emotions and logic and all this stuff. And what I discovered is that it seems like, from the researcher's point of view, that even when we make a decision that seems like it's logical, there is still a basis of emotion involved in it. So, from some of the studies, it looks that their conclusion is that every decision that we make is emotional, but just some people um, include the logical, research backed kind of factual part, and others do not. And so I think that's what the difference is. But the bottom line here is that, they say that men and women feel the same level of emotions. It's just that women are more likely to express emotions through facial and other visual cues, whereas men demonstrate greater control over their emotions, which we already know. Guys are afraid to demonstrate too much emotion because they get called a he bitch and he emotional, and all the stuff. We don't need to you have you emoting all over the place. Well, if you're supposed to be the man, the women depend on you to be strong and to lead and all this kind of stuff. We can't depend on you to do that if every time you turn around you crying over in the corner and whining about some stuff. That's why so many men lately don't get women's respect. They're too fucking emotional. It's fine. I mean, we want you to be a little bit emotional. We want you to care about your kids and your wife and your marriage, cry at your wedding or some funeral or something. But y'all be crying all the time, and no woman really wants to be bothered with that. Thank you. Yes, this is one of my favorite shirts. It's one of my faves. And but the difference is that women, when you guys get in your feelings, you want to make irrational choices. You make irrational choices. You allow yourself to be distracted from your goals by your emotions. You allow yourself to be diverted from the track that you say that you want to be on by your emotions. And you allow your desires and your emotions to drive you. So they become like the focal point of all your decision making. You make it based on what you feel, even if it comes right flesh up against what it is that you know you're supposed to be doing with yourself. And a lot of you make a decision based on what feels good in the moment. You don't think about, okay, if I do this, what's going to happen next? There's a whole video on here, which I will link at the end of this, at the conclusion here, which talks about what if. It's something that I try to teach young women. When you make a decision on something, don't stop there. Think about, okay, if I do this, then what? Now what? Now what? Ask yourself that. And it trains you to think, and it trains you to, you can feel what you want to feel. But before you act on your feelings, it trains you to start getting in your head and making a more conscious, logical decision. Okay. You don't agree? So that's not the point. Gotta have a frog in my voice. So when you can balance and control your emotions. I think that's when you get the best out of life. You do the best in your career because a lot of decisions that you have to make, you do have to go on your gut instinct. But people think gut instinct is something that comes out of the sky. It's based on you having experienced certain things in life, being able to quickly ruffle through the Rolodex of your mind and life experiences and kind of wrap them in what's going on right now, your feelings about what's going on right now, and then put all that together in maybe 20 seconds and come up with an answer. And that's something that's very important that you do. You have to be able to do that. So people who are, who get good at doing that quickly, they say, well, they're just like a really, quick decision maker. They're this, they're that, and they're always right. But it's just that they are able to quickly draw on their life experiences and come together with everything and come up with an answer. So you see, I have all my notes because I did a lot of thinking. And also, I have to tell you guys, I'm under I had to take some pain pills because I got in a car accident yesterday. So my back and neck are jacked up, but I wanted to, make sure that I did this. But if I'm not my usual witty self, I just wanted you to know that's why. So I didn't trust myself to remember everything. So I, wrote a lot of stuff down today. But you're still going to get the information. It's just not going to be as off the cuff as I usually am because I want to make sure that I, told you what I wanted to tell you. Um, You'll notice that men, like even if they feel something, right, they're not going to let you know that's what they feel. So they're going to come at you with like flowcharts and, studies and websites and books that, that back up their argument and all this kind of stuff because their goal is to convince you using logic and what they call reason to give them what they want. and give you for you to be what they want and do what they want and say what they want. So they're going to try all kinds of ways using what they consider to be logic and reason to convince you to do that. Um, and for many women, it works, because they're able to find a way to trigger her emotional response, and then it works. But what happens if you got a woman who knows that game, which I want all that to be you, and she's able to quickly see what he's trying to do, and she shuts him down by saying no, then a lot of these guys get really upset. They get really in their feelings. Yeah, I think my car may be totaled. We're going to see what this dude hit me so hard it was not even funny. My car is fucked up. It's just like, oof. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But this was important, so I wanted to make sure that you know, that I came through for you guys because this is something I think that's very foundational, especially for young ones. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay too. Um, so when you gotta have a dude who's a player, he's really good at this. He's very good at tapping into emotions. So are politicians. So are, anybody who's successful in business is doing that. Even as a trainer in sales, that's how you get people. I used to do that because when people come to you, and this is the same way that guys, do with women. I want you guys to understand that this is a sales tactic. They're trying to sell themselves to you. They're trying to sell you on an idea to give them basically what they want from you. They're trying to sell you and convince you to do that. Now, my selling training, that was for people's benefit. Now, it was to get them the goals that they said that they have. That's the same kind of wolf tickets that these guys will do, but they don't deliver like a trainer does. They just selling smoke dreams. But what you do is when you're faced with an individual and you want them to do something that you want them to do, what you have to do is tap into their mind. There's two ways that people are motivated. And my dad taught me this way before Tony Robbins ever said it. So people be like, "You Tony Robbins said that?" Now, my daddy said that, like way back in the 70s. Um, Either you tap into someone's desire for pleasure or you tap into someone's pain and fear. Okay, there's only two ways that people are motivated. That's it, the only two. So for most women, it's fear and pain. Okay, they're afraid of whatever, which there's a whole nother video on that too about what women are afraid of. But the guys who are successful, like the players, they're able to tap into that really easy and figure out by asking you some specific questions what your mindset is and how you view the world. And then they know easily which one of those two things motivates you, and then they know how to play you. Because then they're very, very good at it. You just gotta, I'm telling you guys, I'm giving you guys some serious game right now. And thank you. Thanks, Trace. Yeah, boy. Okay. They want to tap into your emotions so that they get to convince you to do what feels right. Some of them will even say that, don't, just let go, girl. Just let go. Just do what you feel. Okay, that is a man who's trying to get you to let go of all your logic and reason and just go with your feelings because then you'll be making a silly decision. 90% of the decisions you make, especially about men based on emotion, are the wrong decision because you're not using logic and reason, and they know that. And so that's what they're trying to get you. If they see that you're hesitant and they can see that you're thinking about something or you asking questions, that's when they hit you with just let that go. You just a spoiled sport. You too stiff. You need to just relax. You need to let go. Just try it. This. So they start trying to get you to be quote spontaneous, which means basically letting go of all your logic and reason, so that you can just go and do what he wants you to do under the guise of being free and spontaneous. In other words, you just getting pimped. No, it's not gaslighting because he's not really pretending to tell you anything that's not true. He just tapping into your emotion to find out what's going to motivate you, and then he's saying things in a way that's going to trigger the desired response. So he could be saying, like say he finds out you like ice cream. I don't know. Let me think of a better example. I'm sorry. I'll come back to that. Keep in mind my brain is foggy. Now that's not gaslighting. It's not gaslighting. Unless Vanessa gave an example of gaslighting I didn't see. Okay. Ugh. So what are emotions? People, what is emotions? Yeah, you do. You be drunk in love and just being stupid, just not thinking about nothing. Just like, oh my God, my man this and my man that. But I'll give you guys some examples of that in a minute. So this one sociologist says that there are 8 basic emotions. So he lists fear, which is that's one. You're frightened, you're scared. Anger, rage, fury, those are some other adjectives. Sadness, sorrow, grief, um, I don't know, whatever. Joy, happiness, excitement, exuberance, all that kind of stuff is another, those are other words for it. Disgust, in other words, something is nasty or distasteful or yucky to you. Surprised, trust is admiration is stronger, acceptance is weaker, but trust is in there, and anticipation, which he says is the sense of looking forward positively to something that's going to happen. So men will try to tap into your anticipation and even up the ante by using something which I will tell you in a second. Okay, so let's go into Aristotle's definition of emotions. He also agrees with anger. Friendship, where he says is a bond of joy between somebody. That's interesting. Fear, the opposite of courage. Shame, which is the opposite of confidence. Kindness, this is the opposite of cruelty. Pity, indignation, you're so furious that something, you're so angry that something's not fair that you just, become indignant. That's that term. Envy or jealousy, and then love. So those are Aristotle's ideas of emotions. Yes, thanks, Vanessa and stuff, you guys. Like I said, I may not be my sharpest today. Just everybody, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm doing the best I can. Um, and then we conclude with Darwin. He says the expressions of emotions in men and animals was a landmark work. Okay, I guess that was his book because he included pictures. So he says suffering, weeping, low spirits, which includes anxiety, grief, dejection, despair, joy, sulkiness, hatred, disdain or contempt, surprise, horror, self attention, shame, shyness, modesty. But okay, so he had those are pretty basic. All right. But in spite of all of that, I have my own theories. Now, I'm no level on, no, not on the level of Aristotle or Darwin or any of those people. I'm not. But I think my brain is just as good. And I say, well, let me tell you first what happened, okay? Because before we got this show, the idea was suggested, right? And so I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So I hit up a couple of people, and they hit up some people. So I ended up getting responses from about I don't know 23, 25 women. And the question I asked was, what is the key trigger that turns on a woman's emotions? And that may seem like a simple question, but it's very deep. So everybody was like, "What? What you mean turns my emotions on?" And so the answers started coming in once they thought about it, and they said things like, being in love, something being romantic, money, a belief in God, the guy being sexy, and all kind of stuff. They gave all kind of answers. They were all over the place, and those were really good answers. But that's not it. There's one emotion, one that drives women. This is per me. This is only my thinking about it. And that I feel is the emotion called hope. Hope. Women are suckers for some goddamn hope. Y'all go crazy over hope. Oh my God. I mean, think about it. I'm gonna prove it to you in a minute, but I'm just telling you. Um, Hope is what is like the common denominator that gets y'all in trouble, and I'm gonna tell you how. Okay, now when you research this stuff, because I'm looking it up, right? And they're like, well, hope's not really an emotion. It's not an emotion; it's a state of being. Okay, that was some people's belief, and other research scientists say hope is most definitely an emotion because they describe emotions that saying that emotions are automatic and reflexive, and that they are part of the trigger to the central nervous system, and that's where emotions come from. Like you can feel fear, you can feel excitement, you can feel happiness. You know what I mean? That's what they're talking about. It reflects emotionally, but hope also reflects emotionally and mentally and physically. But see, they're men, they stupid, they don't know nothing. When you hope, I mean, it's like alleviates stress. It drives you, it gives you something, it can make you happy. It can make you have all those other emotions and the lack of it, all the negative emotions. Am I right, ladies? Hope is the state of believing that it's going to be greater later, that it can be different, it can change, and you can get what you want, that somehow something magically is going to transpire so that everything is okay. It's all going to be all right. That's hope. Women go and spend millions of dollars every year up in church to get hope. They hope that Jesus is going to save them. They hope that Jesus is going to alleviate their problems. They hope that Jesus is going to bring them a man. Y'all just hope is just everywhere, everywhere with women. You hope that this motherfucker that you got with is going to be different. He's going to be better. He's going to be the man of your dreams. He's going to magically give you something that you're missing emotionally. Hope is everything to women. It's everything. It's every single thing. And that hope, that desire, you be focusing on hope. See, hope is a futuristic thing because you're hoping for something to happen in the future so that you're ignoring the reality that is going on in your life right now. And that's what I want you to do. I stop looking for hope to change shit and realize that the only person who's going to be the vehicle for change in your life is you. So you got to stop hoping for shit. You can't hope for niggas to change. You can't hope for dreams to come true. You can't hope for a magic lantern and lottery winnings or any of that kind of stuff. You got to do what you can do right now. And then, I mean, it's nice that you know that could happen, but you don't waste time hoping for it and neglecting what's going on in your life right now. And that's the point that I see so many women do. I mean, if somebody's got an argument and they can tell me different, and I mean, I'm willing to listen. I'll listen to what your argument is, but I'm telling you, from every single angle that I could think of, and I think my brain is pretty good, the bottom line, when you filter all the bullshit down, all these games men run, all the shit that women get put up with, and all these letters that I get in this advice column, is women are hoping, hoping, hoping that something's gonna be different, and they stay and they sacrifice themselves to no end about some goddamn hope. But like I said, if y'all think you think that I'm wrong, write me, explain it to me. Survivingdating@gmail.com. I will definitely hear what you got to say. Okay? Yeah, everything. Religion is hope. Um, I mean, people being down on their knees praying for shit. I mean, that's the ultimate hope. You hoping that somebody's gonna hear your prayers, right? Am I right? Isn't that what the whole purpose of praying is? You hoping that somebody listens and that hope somebody saves you and somebody gives you the money you need or that some magic's gonna happen. You like women's whole lives are based on hope. And I'm not saying that you should not have any hope because the opposite of hope is hopelessness. But what I'm saying is you got to be realistic. And y'all don't be realistic. You don't be realistic. Okay, so let me move on here. Let me look at my notes. Um, okay, let's go over some more examples of how women hope and get themselves in trouble. You meet a guy, right? You hope that he likes you. You hope a relationship jumps off. You hope that your singleness is over. You hope that you can nail this down because so many women right there asking that again. What can I do? How do I get him to like me? How do I get him to call me? How do I do this? It's like they all just hoping on everything. Or you meet a guy and he asks you a lot of questions about yourself, right? What you want on the life, and then he's gonna repeat back to you what you said. That's why you don't never answer those questions when he say what you looking for. I haven't decided yet. Because then when you do that, then he's gonna pare back what you said, right? He's gonna make it sound like he is could be the deliverer of your dreams that you hope will happen. And he's hoping that he's gonna, you're gonna get excited and hope that he becomes the one. But based on this, these pipe dreams that he's saying, you hope that he will come back after he leaves you. You hope that he will leave his wife or some other woman he's dealing with and just be with you. You hope that he will stop beating your ass. You hope that he will stop watching porn. You hope that he'll stop doing drugs. You hope that he will finally get a job and help out with the bills. You hope that he will stop playing and be a community dick and commit but to settling down with you. You hope that he will ask you to move in with him because you imagine that means something. You hope that he will propose. You hope that he will stop being useless and be the man that you dream of him being. You hope that he will realize he could be more and better and greater so that your fantasies of him materializing, to being this thing, this project that you're trying to work on, you hope that all that work that you put in comes to fruition. You hope that he will change. That's what you hope. That's the number one hope. Okay? Y'all some hoping chicks. Just hoping. I mean, really think about it. Think about all the letters that we've been doing on what the fuck Tuesday, which is now, I mean, yeah, what was it? Tell it Tuesday, then now what the fuck Tuesday. Think about those letters. Every single one of those women was hoping that things weren't gonna be the way that they were. They were hoping that their man who tells them he dabbling with other dudes would stop and that it wasn't true. All kind of hope is involved. Are you seeing what I'm going with this? No matter what you think about, no matter how you massage it around, when you funnel women's actions and thoughts and behaviors down, it all becomes it's based on hope. Now, hope ain't never steeped in reality. It's wishful thinking. And sometimes, I mean, hope can be a motivator because something happens, right? Like I hoped but I didn't really hope. I wished I was determined to make it happen, that I could find another way to get more the wider audience. I start researching it. I put this shit together, this channel together. Learned how to do the software. I put the program together for the Patreon. Everybody started helping me. This lights, all this shit that's in here. You gonna Patreon people bought that, and I mean, this. I'm not. Can't do all this by myself. You guys help a lot. You help a lot. Every $5 donation goes towards something. Even if it buys a new these bulbs for these lamps are expensive as hell. So I mean, people might not think too much. You paying $25, $30 for these bulbs and shit. Them little $5 donations add up. That's what I'm saying. So no, prayer is about hoping because people drop down to their knees and they say, Lord, please help me. I need strength. Give me strength. That's hoping for strength. Now, you may have some of the prayers may be thankful, but the majority of people are looking for something. That's why they take their asses to church. They looking for salvation. They looking for somebody to help. They're looking for strength to deal with the problems that they have. They're not going to church to give thanks. They looking for something. That's why they go. Because otherwise they can stay at home and give thanks. You don't need to be in the church house to give thanks. You just be like they do on the field. You know how the dudes be like doing like this after they hit a touchdown? Okay, now you just gave thanks. What did you do? Do you need to be on your knees to do that? Did you need to make a big production out of it? Did you need the tithes to do that? No. People go to church for a reason. They're hoping to get something. You know? It's just unbelievable. Yeah, I got a good crew. I'm telling you, this it might be small, it is growing, but the people that come to this channel are smart ladies. They're very supportive. They're very loyal, and you got a team that got your back. You can do great things. It's really good. So let's talk about um, why women hope that things why it is that you won't accept what is and you're going to hope that it is something, or you're going to hope to change it, what it's going to become. So how do men ferret out your feelings? There's some basic questions. Yes, well, Zara, I want you to think about it. We're talking in the respect of relationships. Okay, that's what I do on this channel. I occasionally answer questions about family relationships and work relationships too, but my primary business is romantic relationships between men and women because I don't really do, I mean, gay people are welcome here certainly. I mean, but that's not my field of expertise. They would probably get better, help somewhere else. But if there's some benefit that they can get from here, hey, welcome aboard. I'm not tripping. I don't trip on stuff like that. But that's what I do on this channel anyway. So when I'm talking about something, I'm coming from that angle. So how do men ferret out your feelings? I know you do, Van. Thank you. Yeah, because after this, I'm gonna go lay on my heating pad. Okay, number one, you meet them and they ask you, "What's your church home?" Or "What's your religious belief?" Why is that such an early question for men? Because once you expose that you have a certain religious mindset, he knows how to play you. Okay, everything he's gonna be saying, yeah, because the Lord says, and Jesus, and quoting the Bible and all this old stuff. See, because he know you're gonna eat that up. You're gonna eat it up. You're gonna think you done found you a God fearing man, and that he's gonna, he's just gonna play a role that he thinks that things that you want to hear. Now, this is gaslighting. This is when he's pretending to be something that he's not in order to manipulate and coerce you into doing things for him based on what he found out about your mindset, which is, you a church girl. And so church girls all think the same. That's very easy. By saying that one thing, you set yourself up to be a sitting duck. Okay, question number two. They'll ask you questions or test your resolve and your self esteem by doing little put downs. The pickup artist community calls it negging. Like they'll say, "Oh, you pretty for a fat girl," or since you not so cute, it's good that you so smart. So it's a compliment wrapped in a put down. You see how that goes? So they're doing both at the same time, and they want to see how you gonna handle it. What you suppose a lot of women get, confused, and they think they feel upset about the put down, but they are happy about the compliment, so they don't say anything. But chat, watch when he's saying it, he's gonna be looking at your ass like this. He's watching what I told you in the beginning. Women's facial expressions, you're the dead giveaway. Your eyes are gonna flutter. You're gonna be like he's gonna know you took a hit by the look that the confused look on your face. Your eyes are moving around, or you look down, or you look dejected. There's gonna be some change in your body or face. He's gonna notice it, and that's how he's gonna know that he got you and that you're sensitive. Ideally, you would learn how to keep your face straight. And no matter what he says, you just look at him with the same expression. You don't get excited about a compliment, and you don't say give him the pleasure of seeing a neg that hits you. You just look back at him and say, "Well, nigga, what are you trying to say?" Straight face. Okay, then watch him backpedal. That's how you handle that. Yeah, everybody's welcome here. We don't be tripping like that. Just don't come in here trying to regulate. That's the problem I have. Sometimes people with other races, from other races, come in, and men too, and start telling me what I should do and type, what I should say, and what I need to do with my videos. Okay, and then you get the fuck out of here. But it's not based on your color; it's based on your attitude. So but people get confused with that. But Deb don't trip like that. Deb was born in the San Francisco Bay Area, raised up here, with friends of every nationality in the world. My wedding picture looked like a little UN. And so I don't be tripping like that. But yeah, you got to keep your face straight. Y'all just show too many emotions. And then you be breathing all heavy and looking all upset, or you want to start crying and shit. Oh my God, you just get all excited when you do that. They just think, "Ooh, I got her. She just a real emotional little person here. So I can yank her chain anytime I want to." All right. They also do ask you questions about your childhood and your past. What they're trying to do is determine if there was anything that you feel like you were deprived of. Like if you say, "Oh, I didn't grow up with much. We were poor, but my family was so close, and my parents, filled our hearts with love and blah 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 blah." Well, now he knows it's going to be a little harder to get with you. But if you were just when like, I grew up without my daddy, and I always wanted to know who he was, and I just feel like there's a hole in my heart because I had to grow up without my father. Okay, you talking too damn much. Why you telling him all of that? But soon y'all be spilling all your guts. See, that's what I say. You want to be all honest and stuff. You want to just be telling folks stuff, and you just giving him all the tools he needs to play you like a violin. So you telling him all that stuff so he knows that's the source of your pain. Remember what I said? It's pursuit of pleasure or avoidance of pain. So he knows you're the pain type. So now he's going to hit you. He's going to keep bringing shit up to get your emotions stirred up anytime he wants to by bringing up something that he knows is going to cause you pain. Yes, honey, play poker. That will teach you. I took so many people out in Florida. Now poker, I was a new player too. And these are all seasoned dudes. I cleaned the house. They won't let me play with them anymore. Because I took all their money. Let me tell you about this great hand I had. It's like classic. Okay, so I'm at the poker table, right? And the game had just started. So I got, when you get your first cards, they call those pockets. That's the cards in the pocket. In my pocket were two tens. So I already had a pair. Tens are not that high though, because you got, jacks, queens, kings, and aces over the ten. So somebody could, you know what I mean? It's kind of an iffy hand. Okay, so then they do the, the flop. Those are the three cards that they put down because we played a Texas Hold'em. So I got two tens, right? What appears on the board but a 10, a jack, and another 10? So now I have four of a kind. Unless somebody had two jacks and another jack came up, I was going to win everything. So I push all my chips in, right? Because this is like you go all in. My face is straight. They think I don't know what I'm doing. So they're looking at me. I can see them looking at me trying to get an idea. Those are, my expression change, like I'm going to be all, or anything like that. I just kept my face completely neutral. And so they couldn't read me. So they all laughing, right? This is a table full of men, 8 men. So they all push their chips in too because they think, oh, she don't know what she's doing. I put them two tens down and they and took all that whole pot, cleaned all those motherfuckers out. And they didn't know what hit them. After that, they said I couldn't come back anymore. I won, it was about $600 in one hand. So I got my money and I left. And that was the end of that. But, considering I've only been playing poker for a couple of months, that shows you that poker, I think, is one of the best games that a woman can play because it teaches you to control your emotions, not only your emotions, what you feel, but how they are expressed on your face. It's the best thing in the world for you to learn. I can't think of anything better. Even chess and all of that, because the moves are just there. They're what they are. You have a hidden, thing there. You have something hidden, and so they're not gonna know unless you give it away. That's why when you watch poker on TV, a lot of them wear dark glasses because they don't want them to see their eyes because they know that their eyes, pupils will dilate when they have a good hand because they're excited. So there's a lot of things to keep to look, but look into learning. See if you can find somebody to teach you how to play poker. All right. Another thing that they'll ask you is they're going to ask you questions to determine if you believe that no matter what you accomplish in life, that you're still nothing without a man. So here you are, right? You got an MBA, you this and that, but you meet some knucklehead nignog and you want to start, missing meetings and blowing stuff off and rushing in after you work 12 hours a day to make sure you fix a meal for him and this and that. And, you telling all your friends, my man this and my man that. Okay, he knows he got you. And it doesn't matter because your self esteem and your confidence in yourself and your own abilities and self worth are tied up in a relationship and not in yourself. And when you give that kind of power to some third party person outside of yourself, it is doomed for your ass. You don't never do that. You never do that. Never, ever, 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 ever. If you got a hard day and his ass is home before you, that motherfucker need to be hitting the stove or hitting some takeout place or something so that when you come in, you have some food. Why should you have to come in and cook and stuff too after a 12-hour day of stress? No, you don't do that. But a lot of women will because of your belief system. Your face is that expressive? Uh-oh. That's a problem, young lady. You better practice. Well, some people might say it's psychotic. I don't know. A lot of newbies. Oh, that's good though, because this is what we want. We want more young ladies to get messages like this about their feelings. Because this is like a prevalent problem with women. It's just really overwhelming. Now, somewhere in here, I want to show you these slides. Okay, these are a comparison of the thinking types of people. versus the feeling types. So as you see, the thinking types, which men tend to think that they are, they feel like they're firm and they're they want logical analysis and that they make decisions, with their head, and they value truth and logic, and they're objective and all the stuff. Whereas on the other side is typically the female uh, ways of dealing with things. The emotions, more concerned with people and feelings than they are with achievement and analysis. You make your decisions with your heart, which is really getting y'all in trouble. Um, you can feel how others are feeling, which is empathy, which actually is a very good business tool, especially if you're in sales, because you can feel what their hesitation is, and then you can come up with an argument to squash it, and then you can make your sale. Women value tact and diplomacy. Unlike men, they just say, call people awful names and stuff. Women will be like, well, girlfriend, maybe you should get a bigger size, you think, maybe, or a different color. Whereas a guy will be like, damn, you look like you a sausage squeezed into a casing in that shit. Okay. They just say things differently. And this chart shows that thinkers, how the thinker types see the feeler types and vice versa. As you can see, there's a lot of stereotyping and I don't know things. I think a lot of women think that something's wrong with men because they're so inconsistent. They think that you're inconsistent and you think that they don't have any kind of humanity because they're so cold. So you see, those are just a few of the feelings. You can probably think of some more yourself. These are the things I was talking about the negative mindsets that I feel are a problem with a lot of women. If you have a negative mindset, you have negative emotions associated with them. What a lot of you don't realize is thoughts manifest themselves in emotions. So if you think bad things about yourself, then it's going to cause negative emotions in your body. If you think good things about yourself, then you have good, like joy and happiness and excitement and positivity and things like that. So you get stuck on these kind of negative tapes, like, I'm insignificant, I'm unimportant, I can't trust my judgment, I should have known better, I deserve to be miserable, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to be loved, I'm ugly. I'm terrible. I'm not lovable. That's why nobody loves me. I'm so stupid. I can't trust anybody. Nobody's worth me trusting. I'm a failure. I'm weak. So you said you tell yourself all of this stuff, right? And then here comes some dude and he sees that you're in this very poor mental state. Well, all he has to do to try to get you on his team is find out that this is how you think about yourself and then tell you the opposite. It doesn't have to be that is true. What I mean? He's not saying it because he knows you. He's just saying it because he knows it's going to get a certain emotional reaction out of you. You're going to get attached to him because you see him as, quote, giving you your self-esteem, and he will be leading your ass around like a little donkey with a rope around his neck, and you'll be sitting up there just doing everything he wants and everything he says because you're so attached to that feeling. You see the emotional thing, the emotions that he brought up in you by trying to change this negative thinking that you have about yourself. And so this is how I say that y'all be wasting your time. You waste times because your emotions told you to. This is like, this is you, right? You're hardworking. You hold your kids down. You working. You doing the best you can. You might have two jobs. You going to school. You young. You realize you made a mistake having a baby or two, whatever. But you got your shit rolling now. You trying really hard. You're a caring, thoughtful person. You share what you have with others. You take care of people. Be a supportive, encouraging person. You believe strongly in commitment and family. Yet, you go and align yourself with somebody in the him category, some jailbird, some depressed, mentally ill fucktard. He's an unemployed homosexual bum. He's emotionally, physically, or verbally abusive towards you. And sometimes your kids as well. He neglects you, leaves you hanging, makes you do stuff by yourself all the time. He may have some other kind of afflictions, and here you are with that past having kids by this fool, and you passing that shit on to your children all his learning disabilities and stuff. He's a cheater, he's a liar, and he's addicted to whatever. You fill in the blank, that's what it is. And yet, see, all of these are things, these are emotions that you are dealing with, and you're not really looking at how these emotions that are stirred up by this neglectful, jailbird, depressed, crazy man are making you get off track. The energy that you're using to deal with him is energy that you should be using to deal with yourself. Oh my God, you guys, come on now. Whew, that's exhausting even just to read it. I worked hard on those slides. I just want you to know. All right, so let's talk about now. We need to talk about, now that we talked about how you guys get in the problem that you get in, and we talked about, um, the impact of following your emotions all the time. What you're throwing logic and reason out the window. How does it do what does that do for you? How does it harm you? So we're going to go over it. If you need to reduce, I have 7 tips for reducing the influence of your emotions. Okay, let me read some of the chat. That's how men thinks. Yes, it's very much a balancing act. You got to balance your emotions with uh, logic and reason. But for most of you, I need you to, okay, that's in the middle. But most of you are on this side, right? You way over here on the emotional side. For now, I need you to I'm going to need you to go far, far into the logic and reason side. Get used to that, and then you can work your way back to the middle. Because you too far on the emotional side. See, you need to go cold turkey to the other end for just for a little while, and then you can kind of find your way back to the middle. But by then, you should have the skills to be able to do that. You know how it feels to be logical and make decisions. Being reasonable and using rational analysis. That's what it's called. In some schools, as a matter of fact, they started offering classes for young people called um, logical thinking. Is it logical thinking? Something thinking. But anyway, um, that is being offered to kids in schools now because they're not learning it at home. I'm like, wow, this is kind of messed up. You're supposed to learn how to make decisions at home. Parents are supposed to teach you that. But then you think about it, there's a lot of parents don't know how to do it themselves. So what the hell they gonna do? Okay, now money or love? Money. Always for you, choose money. If you got to give up your money for love, fuck that love. And that's what women do. You sacrifice. The women drop out of their career. They at the top, and they drop out because they in love. Critical thinking. Here you go. Thank you, Becky. They drop out, to have kids and all this old stuff, and then they try to get back in the workforce, and they can't because they're rusty. They lost clients. I mean, they just don't have nothing, and so then they struggling and working at, as a clerk at Macy's or something. And so it's like, you can't. You have to keep your hands in the pies and stay focused on what your goal is for life. Now, if that was your goal all along, and you just was going to law school or whatever because you thought it would make you get a better husband, well, I guess there's some people that would do that too. But yes, critical thinking, that's the word I was trying to think of. So let's go over these 7 points. The 7 steps to reducing the influence of your emotions. Number 1, stop for a minute. This takes willpower because most of you just want to run with what you feel. You want to run, just like, oh, hither and yon over the mountains and around the globe because of your feelings. But you got to stop and you got to think about the situation. You got to assess what's going on and think about it in a way that protects your health, your resources, and the people that are important to you, which for most of you would be your children or maybe your parents. Okay, so decisions you cannot make on emotions. You must think about the long-term impact of the decisions that you make on your resources, on your health, and we're talking not just your physical health, your mental and emotional health, and the people who are close to you, like your children. Your thoughts should always be focused on achievement of your short-term and long-term goals. Do not give up your goals for a man. He comes talking about, well, I don't want my woman doing this and that and blah blah blah. It's like, well, okay, you're entitled to have that, but you're not going to get that here. So if that's what you want, that comes into direct conflict with the goals that I have for myself. And to me, my goals are the most number one, most important thing. Not your desire for me, but my desires for me. So bye bye. But a lot of you don't have the courage to do that because you're so afraid to be single. You're so afraid to be, you quote alone. And it's like, okay, so you'd rather be in a relationship with some jackleg knucklehead like we had up on the slides? That is better for you? Oh my God, this is so unbelievable. He drained her financially. Well, see, she didn't do what I just said. She did not protect her resources. I don't know, Linwood, you know what? Get your notifications from over on Twitch. They seem to do a better job. I don't know. Let's, I don't know. I don't know what, me and YouTube are having issues lately. We're not friends. Okay, so number two, be mindful. Now, what this means is your goal in being mindful is to have complete authority over your thoughts and the feelings which are generated by those thoughts. And there's some scientists that say, thoughts have power. Thoughts have emotion connected to them. Because, like, if you think about something that made, like somebody died or something. Okay, well, you get sad and you might even start crying, even though the person died a long time ago. Your thoughts are what made you sad and depressed. It wasn't the person. They didn't have nothing to do with it. You did that to yourself, and it's the same thing that women have when they think about, fear of what if he cheats, and he probably this, and they maybe that. I saw a lot of that when we was talking about the situation with Knowles and Lawson and how she acted on that show. These women came back with all kind of fantastical fables of maybe, might have, could it, should it, maybe about why they got into it and all kind of shit they had no proof of, but in their minds they had created this sordid drama, and then they responding emotionally in their comment to some stories that they made up in their head. It wasn't nothing about what happened in that video was presented that way, but in their mind they created this whole scenario and was fuming and foaming at the mouth about what he probably did and probably said and the way he probably acted and what he maybe did 10 years ago. I mean, it was just the most unbelievable thing. I sat there looking at that and just in awe. So it just reflects on there. It's like how thoughts will create emotions in you, and you need to be very careful about what you think and what you put into your head because it will put you in an emotional whirlwind for no reason. All right. Okay. Number three, point number three. What I'm going over for those of you who just got in here, I'm going over my 7 ideas for how you can reduce the influence of your emotions. These are key for women. Okay, so I'm on point number three. Seek peace. Please seek peace. Some of you get so caught up in the fighting and the back and forth with these men. Oh my God. It's like you just become addicted to the drama. I can't do drama. Drama makes me have high blood pressure. My stomach gets achy. I can't do it. I cannot do it. But what I was talking about, how thoughts have emotions attached to them. But thoughts don't really have any power until you act on them. Okay, when you act on your thoughts, that's when they have power. Because other than that, they're just something floating around your head. You can reduce the anxiety that you create by having negative thoughts by engaging yourself in productive activities like a hobby. You know, I don't know, reading a book for that'll help you be better on your job or something, preparing for a promotion, taking a class to go back to school, even if it's a class for something that you just like to do, like painting, or you want to learn about sailing, or whatever. They have classes in pretty much everything. Um, You can also, if you have a lot of energy that you want to, use up because you like to sit around and think up stupid shit, or you like to, be calling men all the time and texting men all the time and worried about what he's doing and all that stuff. You don't spend any time and energy on yourself. You need to go call up one of these agencies, a nonprofit or something, and get your butt over there and volunteer. Use up some of that energy in a way that's going to benefit your community. Okay, you don't need to have a project. A man does not need to be your project. You want to do something creative, and you want to reward, and you want to see something beneficial come from your time and energy. Please seek out a nonprofit in whatever area arena that you like. They have them for animals, environment. They have them for children, for babies, for single moms, for teenagers. I mean, any kind of nonprofit that you have an interest in, you can find it in your community, register with them, and then start doing something with them to make your world a better place. That is a much better time use of your time and energy than investing in a knuckleheaded man. Oh my God. It'll let you step away from your emotions. Okay, you won't be thinking about yourself so much and going into this tailspin. You'll be thinking about things that you can do and say, and places you can go and present yourself to better the world. That is a wonderful thing for you to do. And I bet you will get out of those thought processes. Number four, point number four, stay in control. Please learn to control yourself. Volunteer teaching is great. I am in approve of that. Um, Once you have identified what you're feeling and why, you can be clear about the best way to proceed. If you need sleep, get it. Get it. Go to bed. Tackle the problem or something the next day when you're fresh. Because when you're tired and stressed out, you don't think clearly because you're too emotional. So get you some rest. Wake up in the morning, get your tea, coffee, your smoothie, whatever you do in the morning, and then put your thinking cap on and think logically and analyze the situation. Because when people are tired, we tend to, react to things emotionally. And I think another point that women need to understand is when you think about negative thoughts, right? They tend to like build on each other. They consume each other and become bigger like a fish. Um, you start thinking one negative thing, like, okay, let's walk through this. Oh, that motherfucker, why he not calling me back? Okay, that's one thing. Okay, you have emotions about that. Escalation number one. He's probably out with some bitch. Okay, now you don't know that. You don't know where the man is. He might be in a meeting and stuck somewhere where he can't use the phone. Okay, but no, in your mind, he's with a bitch. Okay, so now your emotions are really out of control. Yeah, all he does is lie and cheat. Okay, that's level. You will up yourself to level 3 now. Level 4. All he's gonna do, he's just gonna make me break up. I'm not the one to deal with so shit like this. I've been through enough. Okay, now we're at level 4. See, all of this is going on in your mind because your thoughts are magnifying themselves and going downhill, like getting bigger and bigger, like a snowball rolling down a mountain. It's just unbelievable. So, you just work yourself up into a state based on the fact that all these thoughts that you have, all these negative thoughts. I hope nobody's name dropping because yeah, we don't want those. Yeah, I watch K dramas too. But no, K dramas isn't a name. That's a unless she said something above. K dramas are a type of TV show. But if she did just say something with a name, just delete it, Van. I mean, Lady Boss, if you can. Um, Number 5, stay on track. This is really hard for a lot of women. You have to stay, uh, you know, keeping your mind on your goals and what it is that your personal values are, and don't waver. Don't do anything based on what he's talking about. Um, what you have to do is, okay, let me give you an example. Okay, so you meet a man and you say, um, I don't like, this weird, freaky sex stuff. Okay, so then that's your plan, right? You just want a regular relationship with a regular man. And so then he comes with this, let's do a threesome stuff. Let's go to a swingers party. Let's do this. Let me pee on you or something. And you don't, first you say no, no, no. And then after that, you start, you give in. Okay, once you do, He loses respect for you and you lose respect for yourself. Why? Because you deviated from your path. You violated your own morals and value system in order to quote please a man end quote. Why did you do that? See, now your self esteem just took a hit. You're not going to like yourself very much after that because you're going to think, oh, that stuff that slows you on that slide. I'm weak. I'm disgusting. I don't, so there we begin the downhill spiral of emotions. It's like, don't do that to yourself. If whatever you say, if you have to say no to a man, the fact that he even thinks to say some shit like that, you really should let you know that that's not the man for you. You say you want a regular relationship with a dude who comes at you with some shit like that's not a regular dude. What should you do in a situation like that? Tell him I can see that we have very different sexual proclivities and interests, which means that we're not a match. So it's been nice knowing you. Bye bye. That's what you should do. But, you have to be very clear about who you are. And I think that's what a lot of women, they're just not clear on who they are. So when you get with a dude, he tries to define you and make you be what he wants you to be. You just go along with it because you don't really have a really serious idea about who you are. Okay. And that if you did, then you wouldn't tolerate that kind of nonsense. So, you know you so you have these negative emotions. One of the things that women do, instead of communicating them clearly, which is my next point, you try to drown your feelings with booze, with drugs, with eating, shopping, sex. Sometimes people become very promiscuous or whatever, but those are just the counterproductive, and they all that's going to do is snowball and create more problems for you. Unwanted pregnancies. You have to get terminations. You might have some STDs. I mean, think about all that kind of stuff. Deal with your emotions, take control of your mind, and then you will prevent yourself from having so much drama. Point number 6, which I just alluded to, communicate with strength. Now, one thing that really bothers me is when a woman feels something, right? She's got something on her mind. She thinks something. She wants to lay out her plan, her life. She's very definitive about something. Instead of saying it in a very clear way with a clear tone of voice, whether to her children or to a man or to anyone else, instead what we hear is this timid little, oh, well, I think so. Well, maybe. Or, knowing it's not, this shit's not funny, but here you are laughing like a hyena about it. It's showing your nervousness and insecurity. That's weak. Stop being like that. If you got something to say to a man, buck it up and say it. Don't be trying to act like find an easy way out and all that old stuff. Just tell him no. Tell him I don't want to do that, or whatever the case is, or yes, this is what I want. I mean, whatever it is, be clear about it and be very firm. You say what you mean and mean what you say. You say I want a man who's gonna commit. I want to be married. But yet you move in with him, have a baby with him, buy a dog with him, and buy a house with him. Okay, where's the get married part there? What happened? But see, we see this all the time. So you all say one thing, but then you do something else because you don't stand firm in your convictions. Don't beat around the bush. And if you can't stick to what you say, then don't say nothing at all. Just be quiet. Don't say nothing. But you don't want a guy to see you as somebody who's cute, confused, and indecisive that he can easily sway. You want him to know that you are a woman of confidence and strength, and that when you say something, that's what you mean, and so he can bank on that. And that makes them trust you more. If you are wishy-washy that folds like a leaf, blowing in the wind, you keep changing your mind of who you are and who you say you are, how is he supposed to trust you like that? All right. And then the final one on my list of 7 things to control your emotions: meditation and quiet time. Now, I used to, when I was with my clients, I had that rule about you cannot come into your training session talking about yourself. That's a violation. I will send you behind home. But scientists, at that time I was doing research in it because there were so many women that came in, deprecating themselves. It was just driving me crazy. So I read this research that said that we have 50 to 60,000 thoughts per day. Some people, of course, if they're in the scientific field or something, they may have double that. But your average person, 50 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and that most of them are negative. Isn't that fascinating? Most people think negatively about themselves or some situation. They focus on the negative, the bad, the potential harm, what hurt them, whatever, versus the good things. And so they put themselves into that negative mindset. I thought that was absolutely uh, not fabulous. I can't even think. Sorry, pain pills. But I think a lot of times, we don't really stop to check in with ourselves. Like you say something, so you think something negative. Have you ever stopped to say, now why did I just say that? Or why do I think that? Or where did that thought come from? Or why am I talking about myself like this? Why am I down on myself like this? Like checking in with yourself and correcting yourself. And see, most people just kind of go through life all, hither, thither, and not really thinking about why they say and do the things they do and why they make the decisions that they make. And I think that part of this journey to back to wholeness and away from being so emotionally reactive is to really get into your head, because that's going to train you to not be so emotional. You'll think first and act after. So rather than, you can certainly feel your emotion. Oh, I'm upset right now. Why am I upset? What did this person say that made me upset? Well, why did I make myself upset? They just said this and that. Where is my upset coming from? Oh, I'm playing some old tapes from 22 years ago and applying it to this session. Oh, stop doing that, Deb. And then you snap yourself out of it. But it's like it's a responsible, mature thing where you have to take charge of yourself and your own thoughts. You don't let your thoughts control you. You control your thoughts. So you be playing those. You thinking about old problems, right? Old hurts, old tapes of negative behavior, and then you spin out into worry and you get all afraid, and you start thinking about yourself in a negative way, judging yourself negatively, and anticipating pain and fear in a situation because of what happened before. You're applying that to this new situation, this new person. You shouldn't do that. Everybody should have a clean slate, including you. Give yourself one. And where do these positive thoughts come from? I'm a big proponent of retraining your mind with positive affirmations. There's ideas for how to do that all over, the internet, so I don't need to waste up your time with that. But, every time you get ready to tell yourself something negative, you do, like I said, take control. Stop. Just stop. Stop doing that and say, okay, what was I just doing? Why was I telling myself I'm ugly and stupid? Why am I telling myself that I'm useless and no good? Why am I doing that to myself? I need to love myself. So you stop. See what I mean? You stop that negative train before it gets rolling, and then you start changing your thought. You make yourself say positive things to you. Like, girl, you're not perfect, but you are wonderful. You are ever becoming a better person every day. You strive for to be better and to be greater, and it's going to be greater later because you on that path and you are a wonderful person. I love you. Why can't y'all say that to yourself? Instead of all this negative stuff I hear. Yeah, well, people aren't not necessarily going to apologize, but you know what? You don't need to hear an apology, especially if they don't mean it. It's just bullshit. So, you know, why apologize? I'm like, I know I'm like, when I do evil stuff to people, I know I did it with intent. So there's no reason for me to apologize because I wanted to hurt your feelings. I wanted to dog you out. I wanted to make you suffer. So you will never hear an apology from me, not on that. The only time you will hear apology from me is if I accidentally really did inadvertently misunderstand something, or I don't know, something. I've apologized a few times in my life, but the majority of the shit that I've done, I did it with malice and forethought, planning, and a desire to hurt. So, but I own that. I know I'm a bitch. I've never denied that. So, it's what it is. It is what it is. Yes, positive words are fabulous. Positive. And if you guys have any favorite mantras or affirmations that you like, it would be great if you could to post them in the comment section under this video once it goes up. That would be really great because I'm going to try to, make that a resource for young women who are trying to figure out how to deal with their feelings and switch over to positive thinking, and get control of their emotions and start doing better, make better decisions based on logical analysis and cognitive awareness versus their feelings, because your heart is going to take you in the direction of death and destruction. You better rein that shit in. You can't be letting men have control, get that kind of control over you, where you just going through life leading with your heart. Man, they're going to snatch that thing from you and step on it and mash it into the ground. So you got to have a protective covering over it, and that protective covering is using your mind. Okay, so you think of it that way. Use your mind. You see situations that are all fucked up, like the girls in the letters on Tuesday. Um, with this girl getting a master's degree, and she got this boyfriend who's on the couch, depressed, and not working and finding every excuse. And she talking about, well, I hope, see, hope again, that we make it to our 1 year anniversary. And I'm like, why? You should hope that you break up with him by the time you hear this video, because that would be making a whole bunch more sense than dealing with that fool. Oh my God, he was just useless, just a useless piece of shit. And the girl who's husband, boyfriend, whatever he was, yeah, the baby daddy that she was putting through school, right? She putting him through school and getting her car repossessed and all kind of stuff because she got off of her program. Her program was to go to school and then, do whatever she was supposed to do. She had that baby, which she shouldn't have had, and then she's with a knucklehead that she shouldn't have been with, and just, wasting years and years of her life by on a fool because and then all off her track and talking about, but I love him. I want our family. I want to have a two-parent home family because she was hoping that he would come around and do that for her. So, the bottom line for today's discussion, my young lovelies, is that hope can be the source of all problems for you. If you're going to hope for something, make sure that you have things in place where you're not just hoping, you have some action items in play so that hope is not just a dream. Your hope is coming to reality because you're doing step by step actions to make the hope a reality. Okay? Hoping by itself in the face of just straight factual opposition that will tell you that this hope is never going to do anything but just be a dream for you, that you shouldn't waste time on that. You're going to hope for something and then you're going to take steps to make it reality. Okay, the hope is a conception, but the action is what's going to make the difference. Failure is preparation. Oh, yeah. It's preparation because now you know what won't work. It's part of the investigation process, you know. Because everything you try is not going to work, at least not the first time. It needs tweaking, or maybe you need to abandon that and try something else. But, if you stay focused, you will eventually get what you want. You will eventually make some shit happen. This channel is a perfect example. Everything that you see here now is a perfect example. So, yes, it's, I don't even know if it's misplaced. It's just, women just hope too fucking much. Stop being so hopeful and look at reality. I mean, what can you do besides hope? What are you doing to make it come true? Yeah, next option then. Exactly. That's the one way to do. Okay, this didn't work. What? Okay, what can I do to make it work? Do I need to tweak this, abandon that altogether, and come up with something new? I like that. That's exactly what it is. I hope to see Paris next summer. Okay, well, what you doing to make that happen? That's your dream. Okay, that's on your checklist now. Name some action items where you're gonna make that dream come true. But see, you just sitting around hoping, you watching TV and you hoping, and you going at the gym on the cardio machine and you hoping, and you ain't really doing nothing to make it happen. Well, see, that's just wasting a bunch of time. There you go. Oh, I like that. She said instead of catching feeling, I'm catching flights. God damn it, that's it right there. Go, girl. I love that. I love it. Catching flights and catching them dollars. That too. Well, this was good, you guys. I'm glad everybody came through, and I'm glad my back held up long enough for me to do this. But I'm about to get up out of here because the end is near. My back is starting to talk to me. But I want to thank everybody for coming. This was a very, very important show. Please share the link on your social media. Share it in your groups to other women. Share it to your relatives and your friends, especially young girls who need to know not to waste their time like this and how guys are going to get them. It's very, very important that they learn this lesson, that they learn it early. My name is Deborah Cooper, vice columnist on survivingdating.com and host of the show on the Debsterism channel, airing on YouTube and Twitch. I'll see you guys this weekend. I'll be back for the weekend show, either Saturday or Sunday. Become a subscriber, hit that notification bell, and then I will see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.